Hi everyone, good morning. Welcome sa ating sixth day of the filing of the certificates of candidacy for the 2022 elections. We are still your reporters. We are still on the ground covering the latest happenings dito nga sa week-long event na ito. Good morning, Jairo.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Jairo Boliedo and I'm currently covering the perimeter of the Sofitel area para magbigay sa inyo ng on-ground updates dito sa ika-6 na araw ng COC filing.
Yes, and I'm Dwight Dalen. Ako naman nandito ako sa loob ng Sofitel's Harbor Garden Tent. So, una, syempre, para sa ating mga nanonood, yung mga aspirants natin, dyan muna sila pumupunta, at least kung nadadaanan nila yung area na yan. Tapos, dito sila pumapasok sa venue na to, kung saan, para i-file, yung kanilang COC or CONA, basically the document which puts them, or puts their list in the potential names of candidates for the 2022 election. So it's already the sixth day of the filing of COCs, and yesterday was yet another day of many applications, and of course there were notable aspirants, particularly in the party list race. So yesterday we didn't really have notable aspirants for the presidential race. Pero at least meron tayong mga ilang mga party list groups na nagsubmit na ng kanilang list of nominees. I think, Jairo, you have a number of party list groups you want to talk about? Kasi I think may na-interview ka kahapon na ilan-ilan dyan.
Oo, yeah. Aside from that, no, ito din yung third day kasi na umuulan. So starting Monday, because of typhoon depression, tropical depression Lani, ay umuulan na. So hanggang ngayon, third day, sixth day ng filing, umuulan pa rin. So we're not sure if we're gonna expect a lot of supporters, but kahapon, we've seen a number of supporters of different party list groups, particularly itong TGP party list and itong ACT Teachers party list. So let's start with the TGP party list. So at first, you're gonna parang maiisip nyo na parang has something to do with medicine, with health, and kasi TGP, the generics pharmacy, the brand is there, and the logo is very, very similar with the TGP itself.
Parang
So,
may brand recall, di
um,
ba?
yeah, may brand recall exactly, lalo na medyo sumikat yung TGP years ago, yung commercial nila. So, TGP stands for Talino at Galing ng Pilipino daw. And then, ang platform nila ay KKK, so Kalusugan, Kabataan at Kalikasan. And then we had a chance to interview them here, dito sa pwesto natin sa tapat ng PICC, kung saan nga nabanggitan ni Dwight, ay para nagkaroon ng informal media briefing area na before or after mag-file ng mga kandidato dyan sa loob ng COMELEC tent ay pupunta rin sila dito para paunlakan ng panayam ang mga media na nandito. So kahapon interview natin sila, and since they're focusing on these three case, and based on the initial speech ng kanilang first representative of first nominee na si former Catanduanes Vice Governor Jose Teves, ay sabi nila mas kalikasan yung kanilang focus. And then I asked them a very, very interesting question. Ano yung gagawin niya since nakaupo na rin siya sa Kongreso in the
Yes.
last Congress? Ano
Current
ang
Congress,
gagawin niya?
yes.
Yeah, ano ang gagawin niya to protect the environmental defenders? Because according to the Global Witness report in 2021, for 8 straight years, starting in 2013, the Philippines is the deadliest Asian country in the world, or in Asian country in the continent, for land defenders. And interestingly, he told me na
I
he's
watched
gonna
that
focus
video.
on he's gonna focus on single-use plastic, and nagulat ako sa parang sir, aren't we talking about you know
Wait, sir, para ang
supposed
layo.
aren't we supposed to be talking like about the legislation, protection, heightened security for the land defenders, and then he mentioned about the single-use plastic. And not just that, minention niya rin na he's gonna encourage the ban on on not on single-use masks, basically disposable masks. Because sabi niya ang allowed lang daw na magsuot ng disposable mask ay yung mga healthcare workers. Actually, partly correct naman yun, but hindi allowed, ini-encourage. Kasi mas ini-encourage ng ating World Health Organization at ng DOH na gumamit din naman talaga tayo ng surgical at reusable mask. Pero, the mere fact na gusto niyang kasi i-phase out
Yes.
or wag pagamitin yung
Yes.
general public ng ganitong klase ng mask, medyo tinanong natin siya doon.
Questionable.
Questionable, exactly. And then sabi niya, gumamit daw sana tayo ng abaka na mask, which is, very, very interesting because, Philippines is one of the biggest importers or exporters rather
Exporters.
of Manila hemp or yung abaka. Very, very interesting naman yung point niya. But I think kailangan ng clarification on some points and the mere platform ng kanilang party list, I think dapat mas malinaw sa atin kung ano ba talaga yung focus. Kalikasan,
Mm-mm.
kabataan, o kalusugan. And I think
Actually,
kahapon, yes, Lloyd.
Actually, sometimes we talk about these groups and for example, yun nga, yung TGP, para ang dami nilang minention na kung ano-ano. But then you ask yourself or we ask ourselves, what marginalized group are you exactly representing? But then, we realize that there's actually, meron nga palang Supreme Court ruling na in the past, I think 2013, which
Yeah,
basically said
2013.
that party list groups don't necessarily have to represent a marginalized sector in order to qualify for a House seat. So parang it reversed a 2001 ruling on the matter. So after nun, syempre, mas dumami na yung mga party list groups
Mm-mm.
representing supposedly different causes, but then you sort of
Yeah,
question like, what sector are you exactly representing? Or parang, is this sector really underrepresented? Is this sector
yeah,
really marginalized? So, for example, katulad nga yesterday, we have TGP saying that they advocate for the environment, what else, for various causes, and then, but you don't
yeah.
really realize, or hindi mo ma-discern talaga, ano exactly? So,
Exactly.
mm-mm,
Saka aside from that, meron naman kasi tayo mga House Committee on Natural Resource and Environment. Meron tayong Department of Environment and Natural Resources. At the same time, for example, very, very interesting kasi growing up, sobrang curious ako about this party list, yung
mm-mm.
LPGMA party list. So they're
Yes,
advocating
it
for
was
the rights
controversial.
of the uh, of the suppliers and sellers of LPG or liquefied
Diba?
petroleum gas. So ako parang growing up, parang are they really underrepresented or is it necessary to elect them in the office? Kasi yung nanay ko personally noong 2007, I can remember, binoto na nanay ko LPG. Kasi sabi nila, LPGMA kasi sabi na tutulungan nilang pababain yung gastos o
Yes.
yung presyo ng LPG and bilang ordinaryong Pilipino nahuhook yung mga tao dito. So minsan din talaga nakita din natin na gumagamit ng mga familiar acronyms yung mga party list systems
Mm-mm.
para alam mo yun makakuha ng boto at is eventually makakuha ng seat. Katulad kahapon, Dwight, no, I
Mm-mm.
think nag-file to sa loob din yung Smile party list.
Mm-mm.
Smile, as in ngiti party list. And then yung
Yes,
acronym
yes.
niya ay Samahan ng mga manggagawa sa industriya ng
Live
live
events.
events.
Yes.
So personally, gusto daw nila mag-advocate sa mga karapatan ng mga manggagawa na nagtatrabaho sa live events. And
Live events.
they have a point because during the pandemic, nahirapan talaga yung buhay ng ating mga kasama doon sa industriya. But then again, kailangan ba talaga? I think meron kang kwento regarding yung Smile.
Well, they didn't really say a lot. Although, yes, they want to parang push for the interest of live events workers. Definitely the pandemic affected their operations, their livelihoods. That's why they're here. But then I would just like to go back a little bit. Kasi ayun nga you mentioned TGP and you sort of question parang gaano sila kagagap doon sa experiences and struggles of
Mm-mm.
the sectors they're supposedly representing. For example,
Yeah.
we also had another party list group yesterday, Maharlika, which entered here and said na parang they want to represent IPs, Indigenous peoples in Congress.
Mm-mm.
So parang if a group says that, parang you would expect them to have a clear picture, a better understanding of the plight of Indigenous
Or
peoples. So
indigenous
I
peoples.
actually pumunta ako dito sa microphone. I asked them, so sir, I think you're aware of the lumad situation in southern Philippines. It's they're being subjected to militarization, and it has caused displacement of many of their people. So I would like to ask, what's your stand on that? Parang, how
Mm-mm.
would you
Mm-mm.
address that if you are elected in Congress and uh, the their nominee said something like, well, hindi naman lahat ng hindi lumads ay ma-consider na indigenous peoples. Yung iba doon, ginagamit
Mhm.
for propaganda,
Uh-huh.
ginagamit ng kaliwa. So, and it's the kind of a narrative that's
That
been
has been
used to
using. Yeah.
that's been used over and over to, well, not
Oo.
just to parang undermine the struggles of the indigenous peoples in Mindanao,
Oo.
but to red tag groups
Yeah.
that have been helping
Yes.
this
These
vulnerable
people.
sector.
Oh,
Mm-mm,
saka
mm-mm.
let's not forget that in all Lumads are indigenous people. That's a
Mm.
fact. Hindi porket wala ka dun sa lupang
Yes.
sinubuan mo, hindi ka na indigenous people. The mere fact that you are born into a certain group that belongs to these indigenous groups, you are an indigenous person. You belong to the indigenous people. And lest we forget, last time, I think around June to July, meron tayong 3 lumad na pinatay ng military on supposed encounter. But, facts reveal that, kasama doon 12-year-old. So anong alam ng, 12-year-old to hold the gun and, fight back against the military. So it's
Mm-mm.
really, I think, personally, I think, if you're gonna represent a certain sector, I think you should read more and
Yes, exactly.
understand the real plight of the supposed sector that you are representing. Because kung hindi ganoon, ay sino ang nire-represent mo, 'di ba? So dapat
Yes.
magkaroon ka ng identity crisis. Dapat,
Anyway, moving on, since we're already
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about, alam mo yun,
Red
groups,
tagging,
red tagging, groups
yeah,
being subjected to harassment. Let's talk about ACT teachers, because ACT teachers
yes.
also went here yesterday to file their CONA, their certificates of nomination and acceptance. Representative Franz Castro was here. Former Representative Antonio Tino was here to seek a House comeback. Remember, he was a 3-term congressman representing the party
Yeah.
list group, and he was here yesterday. So, of course, they pushed. They said that if elected, they'd continue to push for the rights of teachers,
Mm-mm.
the salary increase of teachers, and better benefits for them. So I think actually feeling ko araw-araw siguro baka may mag-file na party list groups from the Makabayan Bloc. Maybe
Yeah.
that's their strategy. I'm not exactly sure kung sino yung magpa-file today. Pero if we're going to look at the pattern, nung Monday nag-file ang Gabriela, kahapon nag-file ang ACT teachers. So, and meron pang Kabataan, meron pang Bayan
Yeah.
Muna.
Ni Gabriel, tapos na yung Gabriela.
Yes, Anak Pawis, I think, mag-file because they also
Yeah.
they want to seek a House comeback. But do you have other things to say about ACT teachers? I think you interviewed them.
Yeah. Oo, very interesting kasi we've been following the Makabayan Bloc. Aside from our house reporter Rambo, bilang tayo ay nasa military beat and NTFL beat, pina-follow
Mm-mm.
din natin yung pag-atake dito sa mga underrepresented sectors. Kasama na yung pag-atake doon sa Makabayan Bloc. So kahapon na interview natin si Representative Castro, si third nominee San Juan, and si former congressman or former representative Antonio Tino. And one of the most striking answers that we got from them is that sabi nila, patuloy sila mag-iingay. Mag-iingay. Alam mo, sobrang simpleng sagot lang nun, but it's very, very meaningful kasi the mere fact na nagdi-dissent ka sa isang pamahalaan o sa ganitong sitwasyon natin na marami pinapatay, nire-red tag, tino-terror tag, at patuloy ka nag-iingay para
Yes.
i-expose yung pag-atake ay malaking bagay na. Katulad na lang na naging
Yes.
example natin, si Teacher Laicon Sad, isa sa mga guro na ni-red tag at inaresto ng kapulisan sa Mindanao March nitong taon. At sa tulong ng ACT Teachers Party List ay nakalaya na siya ngayon at napatunayan na wala naman talagang basihan yung mga sinampakan sa kanyang kaso. So para po sa atin, na sa ating mga viewers na nag-aagam-agam tungkol sa paglaban o sa mga causes ika nga ng mga ganitong grupo, kayo po mismo ang makakakita kung sino talaga yung nagpa-function, 'di ba? Kayo makikita niyo po sa kanilang mga legislation, makikita niyo sa kanilang mga ginagawa at mga naipapasang batas kung talaga bang natutulungan nila yung supposed sector na nire-represent nila. So, yun yung very,
Definitely,
very interesting.
definitely noise is important in a country that wants its people
Yeah.
silent, wants its critics silent.
Yeah.
So
Mm-mm.
and it's not just it's not just exclusive to groups that are being subjected to red tagging. Even other people who want to, even ordinary citizens who want to express their dissent must feel, alam mo yun, safe doing so, because
Yes.
that's what democracy is like. And we were already
Yes.
talking about state security, state forces,
Oo.
security, and yesterday
Oo.
PNP Chief Guillermo Alazar went here sa paramit sa ano natin sa
Sa
area,
area natin.
yes, and to conduct routine inspection. I think nauna ba siya nagpunta
Oo.
dyan o dito? Saan ba siya una nagpag-grant
Nauna
ng interview?
nauna siyang pumunta dyan, and then we texted
Yes.
him na parang, General, punta ka naman dito sa perimeter kasi may mga kapulisan din
Yes.
naman dito. And then pumunta siya, nagpa-unlock siya ng interview. Pero
Yes.
very, very quick commercial lang, Dwight. May dumadating ngayon na mga sasakyan. I think
Anong
this is
nakalagay?
party list. I think party list ito. Ang nakalagay ay Malasakit Movement. And of course, sino ba ang nakikita natin
Sino
dito?
ba
Nakikita
ang
natin
sino ba
na isa
gumamit
sa
ng
mga
tagline na
nominees.
Malasakit?
Kaya nga, sino ba? Kilala si Senator Bongo na ang tagline ay Malasakit Center. Ito yung kanya naging brand. Kahit
Pet
pa
project.
yung mga supposed services ay nasa loob naman talaga ng projects ng DSWD. Pero isang interesting fact dito ay doon sa mga posters ng Malasakit ngayon, ayan. Hindi siya masyadong kita, but sige.
Yes.
Picturean
Pero ano
natin
yun?
mamaya, post
Oo,
natin.
ano yun?
Nandoon si former Assistant Secretary, IMMD Assistant Secretary Celine Pialago. So,
Yun ba
nandun
yung
siya sa
i-represent
poster.
niya? Ayun ba
Yes,
yung nominee
kasi
ba siya ng party list group na yun?
Oo.
Yes, I remember. She just,
Kasi
di ba,
di ba,
parang resigned a few days
oo.
ago sa
Kasi di ba
MMDA.
silang dalawa ni GM Garcia and then ito si Asek Pialago. Nagpaalam na sila last week na
Yes.
magre-resign sila and then tatakbo sila sa congressional seat. And hindi natin
Yes.
alam na Malasakit Movement pala yung i-represent ni Celine Pialago, pero hindi naman
Yes.
tayo nagulat dahil si Asek ay talagang kilalang malapit dito sa pamahalaan.
Nakaalyado.
So,
Nakaalyado ng
at
Pangulo. Yes. Yes,
so
yes.
yun, balik tayo kay General Alazar dahil nandito pa rin ang ating mga kapulisan. Ayun, in-interview natin si General Alazar at
Ano
ibinahagi
yung
niya
sinabi
sa
niya?
atin na
Tatakbo ba
wala
siya?
pa, yan, very, very interesting kasi nagkaroon ng mga movement sa Facebook na General Alazar for Senator Movement, ganyan. Pero sabi niya hindi daw siya tatakbo at tatapusin niya yung kanyang term. But very interesting kasi matatapos yung term niya November 13, 2 days before ng deadline ng submission ng substitution.
Yes.
So, meron siyang 2 days para mag-isip pero sabi niya yun, hindi naman daw siya tatakbo at tatapusin niya ang kanyang term bilang PNP chief, pero malay natin ma-extend siya sa pagka-PNP chief or kung ano man ang plano niya ay abangan na lang natin. Pero on the security side naman dito sa Sofitel area, sabi naman nila wala namang imminent threat na na-discover nila o nakikita nila sa area. At the same time, ay so far daw, ay maayos naman daw implementation ng protocols kahit pa nung Friday, ay walang social distancing yung mga supporters ni Senator Manny Pacquiao. But, it's a different story. But, yes, in so far yung sinabi ni General Alazar.
And siguro I'd just like to mention, since you already mentioned substitution, I think it really adds another layer to the entire electoral process here in the country. Even kahit hindi pa nagsisimula yung talagang actual election period, pero yung election season lang. Parang since President Duterte did it in 2016, parang ngayon, even if matapos yung filing week, it doesn't really lock things. Alam mo yun, hindi ibig sabihin nito tapos na yung kwento eh. Or meron na tayong finalist eh. People are waiting for the November 15 substitution deadline because many things can still happen. Mayor Sara Duterte of Davao, for one, already filed her COC for re-election. But it's still, ano man date niya? October. It's still a month. The deadline for substitution is still a month away. And she can still change her mind if she wants to. And of course, may iba pa mga kandidato. Hindi lang naman si Davao Mayor, Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte. Lenny Robredo is supposed to announce her decision whether to run or not. Or maybe, I think what you just said is that she's going to make an announcement tomorrow. But of course, you know what that's about. Also, what big things to expect today? We have Senator Ping Lacson
Ping
and Senate
Lacson and
President,
Senator Tito Soto
yes,
to file
filing
their
certificates of
COC
candidacy
today.
today.
Yeah. And
They're
Dwight,
what?
it's
Mm-mm.
8:03 a.m. and we've received an info na 8:08 daw magpa-file si resigned
Recently
DPWH
resigned.
Secretary Mark Villar for Senator, or
Yes.
hindi malinaw kung basta national position ang kanya
Mm-mm.
i-aspire. Basta
Ako hindi
magpa-file siya today.
hindi ako sure kung yung iba pwede ko nang sabihin, pero I think some medyo no some senators who are seeking
Oo.
re-election and some big names are also filing their candidacies
Yes.
today, so we just have to
Oo.
watch out for that. I think Calyodi de Guzman
Yeah, the
is
slate of
scheduled
Calyodi de Guzman.
to
Yes.
file his certificate of candidacy today for president. So it adds,
Oh,
alam mo yun, parang yung
yes.
yung ating list of presidential aspirants is growing. I
Humahaba ng
forgot.
humahaba.
Humahaba ng humahaba. Of course, later on mababawasan yan because
Oo.
syempre the COMELEC will declare
Will
some of them.
evaluate
Will evaluate them and
nuisance.
yes, declare them nuisance candidates. But as of now, we're still, or COMELEC is still just accepting these applications, and it's really just a sign of how vibrant our democracy is, that these people can go here and say
Yes.
they want to be president. So ayon. Now it's another discussion whether or not, alam mo yan, they make it to the ballot.
Yes.
So do you have any final words, Jairo? Because it's already past 8, I think,
Yeah,
and we're about to start the program here.
Oo. Dito din marami ng medyo, palikaw-likaw. So,
Yes.
anytime soon baka may mangyari na rin dito sa field. But yes, always remember po na we should vote for the groups or for politicians, that genuinely represent our causes and at the same time genuinely understand the plight of the supposed sector that they are representing.
Ayan.
Sabi nga,
Yes.
yun nga. And one more thing, marami talaga tayo expect, hindi natin masigurado kasi nga 1 month ago, and sabi nga sa kanta ni Taylor Swift, everything has changed. And President Duterte made our politics, the landscape of the Philippine politics, very unstable because of the changes that might happen in the coming week. So stay tuned lang
Yes.
po sa atin.
And that's your Taylor Swift quote for the day. Thank you very
Oo.
much, Jairo Valledo.
Resident Swiftie.
reporting from outside Sofitel. So anyway, that's all for now. We're going to give you more updates later once this information come in. And later tonight, we're still going to hold another episode of In the Running, where we give you a recap of the day's activities, the more notable events or activities in today's filing of certificates of candidacy. So that's all for today. Thank you very much, and have a nice day, everyone.
Thank you. Take care.